show about sports by people who love sports. Welcome to Sports Isolated. Here's your host, Callum. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Sports Isolated. Joining us on the show today is Port Adelaide Football Club Ruckman, Sam Hayes. Sam, how are you, mate? Good to see you.
Good, mate. Good to see you too, mate. Going well.
How have you been? How are you finding isolation at the moment?
Yeah, look, I'm finding it all right. It's obviously a bit tough with what's going on, and you want to be living your normal life. So being around the footy club is something that I miss a lot, and but it's going all right. I'm back home in Melbourne with my family, and I'm grateful to be back with the family and spending time with them and training and stuff. But so it's not all bad.
Yeah. So Sam, this is your third year at the Power. How have you found the transition into the AFL system over the past 3 years?
Yeah, good. I found it good. Got drafted in 2017, and my first year, 2018, was good. So came in, and I think my body-wise, I probably wasn't quite ready for what was to come, and it took me a while to sort of get into the swing of things. But I think once I got started, and I was around the boys and the coaches, and I sort of settled in pretty well. I was able to go all right, and we only did, I think my first pre-season, we only did about 60 odd percent. But I remember it, gradually going well and getting and improving each week. And then we started playing, and it was round one. Started in the Samful for the Maggies, and things were going well. And I think I played the first 6 or 7 games in the SANFL, and then it was one training session after I think the 6th or 7th game, and on a Thursday morning, and we were training out at Adelaide Oval, and just a normal training session. I just sort of went for a mark, and sort of took the mark and came down and landed awkwardly on my knee, and found out later on that I'd tore my ACL. So, a few games in, things were going well. We were winning, and it was going well. And then you find out that you've done your ACL and you're going to be sitting on the sideline for 12 months. It was pretty tough, but I learned a lot from being in rehab and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, we are actually going to talk about your ACL injury and a bit about what life is like in rehab in the AFL system. But before we talk about that, let's talk about your junior days of playing footy before you were obviously drafted by Port, and you were actually a dual All-Australian for under 18. So I suppose, can you talk a little bit about how you obviously started out playing footy and then obviously progressed through the ranks?
Yeah, so I started playing footy. So I've been playing footy forever, since Auskick. And then, went through the ranks, played at Upwey Tacoma Junior Footy Club up until, I think, under 12s, and then moved over to the Eastern Football League and joined the Ferntree Gully Eagles. Actually joined with... so I played my junior days at Upwey with Jaden Stevenson, who now plays for Collingwood. So, he was a good friend, so we sort of did everything together, and played against Joel Garner, who's obviously at Port and a very good friend. Played against him in the junior days, and then, moved over to Gully, Ferntree Gully in the Eastern Football League, and played up until about under 16s, under 17s there. I was lucky enough to win a couple of flags with them, which was good. And then, at around 15, 16 years old, footy sort of started to get a little bit more serious, and instead of just playing local footy on the weekend, it was I got invited down to the Eastern Ranges, and then went through there with them, and then was lucky enough to play some state football for Vic Metro, and then I made the AIS, and things were going really well for me. I was lucky enough to be dual Australian, which was great. it doesn't really mean much now, but at the time it was, it's good to look back on, I guess. And then, played all my footy up until, getting drafted, and that was in 2017. So I think my junior footy was, was really fun, and I really enjoyed it. And there were some really good moments in there.
Yeah, so unfortunately, as you said earlier in the show, in your first year, you did an ACL tear just at training one morning. So can you talk us, I suppose, what it's like with that injury? I know, from personal perspective, my mum did her ACL one day playing netball. It's obviously, it's a terrible injury, and obviously we've seen the numbers for the injury rise over the year, particularly in the AFLW, unfortunately. So what's it like doing your ACL, and then what does rehab look like for the next 12 months, roughly?
So I wouldn't really wish upon anyone to do an ACL. It was tough. I literally just came down and sort of like landed on my knee and didn't think much of it. And it was funny, like I didn't really go to the ground, and I sort of like walked off, and the physios and the docs came over to the sideline and sort of checked my knee, and then I got it taped up, and I did a few run-throughs up and down the oval and thought, like maybe I'm all right to go back out and train. And then my knee sort of settled down, and that's when they wanted to check it again. And that's when when they suspected that it was an ACL. So that was tough. But yeah, the rehab was it was tough. It was a grind. It was a long year. But there were some good moments. There were some dark days, but there were some good moments. And I couldn't thank everyone enough through all that support, through the whole rehab thing. Everyone from the club, all my mates, all my family, all that sort of stuff. They were really supportive, so it made it a bit easier going through that. But it was tough. I think for the first 3 months, you don't do too much. You sort of, lax up a bit and just sit on the couch, and you can't really, you can hardly walk really. Like, it takes quite a while to get back into the motion of things. And then you slowly progress with gym. And then around 5 months, maybe 4 months, I started running. And then, you progress from there. Lots of gym weights, trying to build that quad back up. And I was lucky enough to do some pretty cool testing. Some people came into the club, and we did some cool agility testing and things like that, which was awesome to test how it was going. And then, I got to about, I think I was ready to play. So it was round 7 last year. I think we were going to play Adelaide, and I was cleared to play, and I was ready to go. But unfortunately, I was sort of sick. I got diagnosed with glandular fever, and so that set me back another 6 weeks. So that was just like a bit of a whack. So I had to do another 6 weeks of sort of staying at home and trying to get better, and then ended up coming back and playing in round 12. And we played Norwood, I remember, and it was at home, and I kicked the first goal of the game, and that was real good. But it was a long journey, but it was all worth it in the end.
Yeah. Sam, how have you seen your development as a player over the past 3 years? Generally, I suppose it's well documented that ruckmen take just a little bit longer to develop. Obviously, they need to build up their body size. So how have you seen your own development over the past 3 years?
Yeah, I think it's been really good. So, like, when I first came into the club, I was about 91 kilos. And I sit at probably around 100 today, 101. So I've been able to put on a fair bit of size. I've been able to build my endurance. My endurance is a bit of a working point with me, a bit of a weak point. So I'm really working hard at that, and I feel as though that's gotten that's come a long way since I've been at the club, and so has my strength. And on the footy side of things, I think my ruck craft has definitely improved. I've been able to work with people like Brendan Lade, who was at the club, and now Dean Brogan, who's been awesome, and learn off guys when I first got there, like Paddy Ryder, who's obviously, amazing to learn off and to be with every day and train with. And then now, Scott Lysett, who's our number one ruckman, and Peter Adams, who I'm learning heaps off, and we're both learning heaps off each other. So I think, my developments over the last, 3 years has been really good. I'm just keen to get back into it at the moment, and I was really looking forward to playing this year. So hopefully we can get going soon.
Yeah, obviously, you speak about the different ruckmen that have been at the club. Paddy Ryder's always been an interesting player. Very, very good jumper. Obviously, brilliant tap ruckman. So, what are some things that you've learnt from him compared to, say, Scott Lysett, which is almost like I suppose he's almost like an on-baller type after the ball, after the ruck contest.
Yeah. So Paddy, he always had good. The way he looked at the game was really, really smart. I was able to learn a lot of centre bounce type things from him, and just a whole range of things. Like boundary throw-ins, where to place yourself around the ground, running patterns. And I would say I'd learnt the same thing from Scooter as well. So you learn a bit off of them, but they are different players. Paddy's your more your class type player, where he can kick some amazing goals, whereas I think Scooter's just a real workhorse, and he's a great ruckman, and he's a premiership ruckman, so I'm able to learn heaps off him. But I think I've learned a fair bit off everyone that I've sort of gone up against, even the people that I play against as well. So yeah, better for it.
Yeah. So how do you see your role in the side? Obviously, the season's suspended at the moment, but obviously, you hope to break into the AFL side sooner rather than later. So how do you see your position in the side potentially? Obviously, there's Lysett and Peter Adams. So how do you feel like the club can play two ruckmen, particularly if the games are obviously shorter in length?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think so. Why not? I feel as though it would be good to have two ruckmen, and especially one that can go forward. So I think I can go forward at times. I do see myself as more of a ruckman, but definitely someone who can can slide forward as well, and kick a goal or two a game. And I think if I can just keep learning off Scooter and Pistol, and just keep challenging them, then I'm going to get my chance sooner rather than later. But yeah, I feel as though if I keep working on my game and keep working really hard, that it's going to work out for me. So yeah, I'm very positive.
Sammy, what do you do outside of football? I know you're, from the chats that we've had while I was at the club, you're very heavily invested into your music. You love producing music with your mates. So what else do you do outside of football? Do you do some uni study or anything like that?
So no formal study outside of footy, but I sort of during the preseason sort of got involved in a charity. So a charity called Make a Wish Foundation, which is about helping sick kids. So I sort of wanted to get involved in that, but obviously it's been a bit tough with what's going on, so I haven't been able to go through with that. And then other than that, I'm always making my music, always producing stuff and trying to put some stuff out. So yeah, it's I have never really done formal sort of study. I've done a few. I've done a few courses within the AFL and within the club. So I'm always keeping busy and things like that. But I don't think it's ever too late. To try and find something to study. I'm only 20 years old, so I've got a bit of time. But I think something like making music will be definitely something I'll always fall back onto.
Do you feel like producing music is something that you want to do post-football?
100%. Yep, for sure. It's definitely a passion of mine. And, post footy, I can see myself going on to do that for sure.
Yeah. So, Sam, what are the plans for yourself in the future? Obviously, on and off the field. Obviously, you'd love to break into the side
Yep.
when we get back to playing AFL. Who knows when that will be? But I assume you obviously want to try and get into the side and keep in there for as long as you can.
Yep. Yeah, of course. I'm always trying to push and trying to get in the side. It's not easy, the position I play, and it's always competition for spots, which makes it really competitive, which is awesome. I'm always going to be pushing hard, and hopefully I can get my opportunity. But as I said before, I'm really positive with it all, and I just want to keep learning. I know I've got a fair bit to go with my development and my learning and things like that. So I know that it doesn't just happen overnight, but at the same time, I still want to remain really positive about it and hungry with it, and chasing, what I want, which is to become a consistent AFL player and, first of all, play my first game. So that's what I'm working towards.
Yeah, you obviously mentioned at the start of the show that you're from Melbourne and you're living in Melbourne at the moment due to COVID-19. Do you ever see yourself going back to Victoria at some point later in your career?
Yeah, definitely. I think once footy's, I would love to be at Port for forever and play for the Power for 10 plus years. The club has given me an opportunity, and I want to I want to pay it back, and I want to end up being a good player, and I want to be loyal to them. But I think say if I was however 32, 33 and footy had finished, then maybe the plan would be to come back home with all my family. But at the moment, I'm just loving living in Adelaide and loving playing footy at Port, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Sam, thank you so much for joining us on Sports Isolated. Greatly appreciate your time. Hopefully we can get back to playing footy later in the year, and hopefully you can sneak in for a game or two.
100%, mate. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Thank you very much. Stay safe.
Yeah, will do. For those of you who are watching at home, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next video.